So Gabrielle Union confessed that she felt entitled to cheat in her previous marriage. Let's dive into it.
In a recent interview, one of the friends of the show, Gabrielle Union, says that she felt entitled to cheat on ex-husband Chris Howard during their marriage since she was the one paying all the bills and bringing home the bacon. She said her mindset at the time was, quote unquote, whoever has the most gets to do whatever they want. She also adds that he was messing around too. Just FYI, before we hang poor Gabrielle.
The fact that she felt entitled to cheat because she was the main breadwinner proves just one point, that women cannot be the main breadwinner without feeling some type of anger towards the man because he's not providing as much as her. Men naturally, throughout history and even in modern terms, have been providing, have been working really hard, go hunting when it comes to hunter-gatherers, and then even went on wars, all of that to protect their family, and on the other side, wanted to provide for them by going outside, hunting, bringing back the bacon home, and making sure that everyone was fed. Once the roles are reversed, women are not comfortable with this idea of providing or being the main breadwinner. It's interesting that this specific quote, his money is ours, her money is hers, is very common. And that's unfortunately the way most women feel about it. The second point, it's never acceptable to cheat. Cheating is dreadful. It has dreadful consequences for the partner that get cheated on, but also for the kids. Family get destroyed and the children's life get destroyed as well. So cheating is a very selfish and shows a lack of courage. If you're honest as a man, you should be able to go and talk to your woman stating, I really don't feel that way anymore and I feel like I can potentially go and cheat with the woman. You have to be honest. Because living a life of double speech, of lies, deceptions, that's not the sign of a strong man. Strong men do not hide their intentions. If they want to be monogamous, they will clearly state they will be monogamous. If they want to sleep with multiple women, that is what they will state earlier in the relationship. And usually, good men are men of their words. They are congruent with their words. And I don't know if you've paid attention of the word that she used to describe Gabrielle, the cheater. She's calling her poor Gabrielle. Can you see the irony of the language that is being used? Poor Gabrielle. She's the cheater. She's cheated on her husband. She didn't really have a choice. She should feel so bad. And this is the constant victim narrative that you see throughout all the media, that you see on the TV, and that you can see everywhere, even on Netflix. When you are the one that is the oppressor, that is the one that committed the bad actions, they always call the oppressor, oh, poor Gabrielle. She didn't really have a choice. That's just ridiculous. You should be accountable for your actions and the result of your actions as well. And Gabrielle Union is no different. It's not because she's a woman that she should not be held accountable for her actions. Let's continue.
Gabrielle. But is someone ever entitled to cheat, do you think?
It sounds like every man since the beginning of time. Not to be, but like you think about like male infidelity.
Yeah.
That's what was going
The
on.
norm.
Like I'm supporting this family. I'm doing what we do, and so I will
That's
have
true.
what I want when I want it.
You're
you know?
right.
It's a very masculine
It's a
take.
yeah.
I was fascinated by it. I mean, Gab is a personal friend of mine.
That's just ridiculous. First of all, a lot of the men didn't have children. And most men only had one partner throughout history. Going around and stating that all the men were cheating, that's a blatant lie. Secondly, men do not cheat because they are the main providers. That's ridiculous. I don't know where this is coming from, but that's not the reality. That's not why men cheat. Men cheat for various reasons. But when you read about evolutionary psychology books, when you do some research, you realize that men cheat because that's part of their mating strategy. Men mating strategy is unlimited access to unlimited women. The female strategy on the other side is let's secure the best possible man and have the kid of that specific man. So these mating strategies are different. And conflicting the fact that someone is the provider with the fact that someone has a specific mating strategy is misunderstanding basic science. And clearly, she doesn't understand that's why men cheat. I'm not saying that men should be allowed to cheat. And I'm even not saying that cheating is okay. As I said previously, cheating is not good. Cheating destroys family. As a man, if you want to go and sleep with a different woman, you should be honest with your partner. That's what I believe. Let's continue this interesting interview.
Fascinated by it. Gab is a personal friend of mine, and it's nothing we've ever talked about, but she says that she got that behavioral take or that power dynamic take from her own father.
From her dad.
Because she saw her dad cheating, then that's fine to cheat. So because a boy has seen his dad beating up his mom, that's okay for him to beat up his mom? Is that the same logic that we are using? This is just ridiculous. Just hold the person accountable for the bad actions. I'm not sure why they are trying to justify. Your trauma is yours to solve. If you have a trauma in your life, you've gone through something that is really bad, really dreadful. It is your responsibility as an individual, whether you're a man or woman, to fix it. And ideally, you want to fix it before entering a relationship. Because you do not want to bring the past trauma into the new relationship. So Gabrielle Union, if she had a trauma as a result of her father cheating around, she should resolve the trauma before engaging in a new relationship. And these women do not hold her accountable and blame the trauma in order to perpetrate this victim narrative once again. That is becoming very animated. Let's continue.
I also think you could just marry the wrong person, and that's clearly what this was. That was not her soulmate. She's now super happily married. They have the most beautiful family. And I thought about this with my husband. If we had gotten together maybe a few years prior to when we did, I don't know that it would have worked. I think timing is so big in relationships. I was too immature. I would have gotten jealous. He was,
So what she's defending right there is the ability to go later in a relationship. Basically, the best year of the woman, between the age of 18 to 28, the best years, she should go around and discover herself. That means just sleeping around, sleeping with random dudes, having loads of one-night stand. That is what she means by saying, I was just immature. Immature because you haven't slept around, you haven't had a high body count, and because of that, you don't advise women to get married early. I'm not saying that women should get married when they're 18 or 20, but the strategy of going around and sleeping with lots of different men in order to discover yourself doesn't work. You're just damaging yourself. That's the reality. The more men you sleep with, the less chance that you have to pair bond with your partner. And the more chance that you have a divorce. Interesting. Let's continue.
And I love Gabrielle Union. I love how real, authentic, and transparent she is. She's shared with us her fertility struggle. She's she's not trying to pretend to be a perfect person that's leading a perfect life. And I really appreciate her honesty. And frankly, I think she's entitled to do whatever the hell she wants. And I think a lot of...
She's calling Gabrielle Union real and authentic. Do you realize that you're calling someone that is a cheater real and authentic? Where cheating is the exact opposite of these words. a cheater is obviously not real. It's a dishonest person that is hiding the fact that they are sleeping with a different person. Authentic? A cheater is a liar. They lie all the time. So, calling Gabrielle Union real and authentic just doesn't make any sense. She's not real and authentic. Hopefully she has changed. And now she's better. But calling this behavior, the cheater behavior, real and authentic is a cop-out. And to be fair, she seems more slave to her emotions than being authentic or real. That's what happens when you're a cheater. You usually think mostly about short-term consequences, short-term pleasures. And this is why people mostly cheat. Because they can't control their emotions. So that's not real and authentic. And it's sad to see that other women do not call her out on this. And all the time we see the same pattern. Women having different standards for different people. On one side, they will have a very strict standard for men. So if a man was going on the press and disclosing that he felt entitled to cheat, that will be everywhere. And they will be calling out this man. They will be saying that this man is a pig and doesn't deserve forgiveness. And at the same time, because Gabrielle Union is a woman, the standards are different. So she can cheat and be called poor Gabrielle. She didn't really have a choice. And it's okay to cheat when it comes to Gabrielle Union. As an individual, you have to be congruent. You have to have the same principle independently of your emotions. And this is where some women cannot differentiate their emotions to their values. Their values should not change based on the person. Their values should not change based on the situation and the actors involved. And this is my biggest reproach to this specific panel on The View. They are not congruent. They spend all their time criticizing men, and at the same time when women do even worse, it's fine. No issue whatsoever. Poor Gabrielle. Okay, let's continue a bit more.
Trouble, but whatever. Like, you're married, you're not happily married, your sex is like, oh. Both sides are bored with the whole thing, or you're fighting a lot, but there are children involved. Now you meet somebody at the office, and you have a fling. I mean, you want to keep the marriage together. You don't want the kids to go berserk on you. You know, that happens. Is there any possibility that there is justification for that scenario?
Okay, now, I have thoughts on this. So if you can live with yourself for that or whatever, and it's a one-time fling or something like that, I'm sure there are ways you can get around. But the most important thing is, if you start to fall in love with people and you change how you are at home.
Pay attention to the words that they use. They use a fling. When actually, someone has cheated and it's called an affair. Extramarital affair, if you prefer. That's not a fling. Going and kissing a different man, going to someone's apartment, kissing, caressing, and sleeping with someone, that's not a fling. That's called cheating. And you should put the words where they are. And these women are using weak words because they want to diminish the action of cheating. Like this is something that is not that important. It's just a little fling. No, it is cheating, and that's an affair. The first woman started to talk about if the flame is not there anymore, if sexually it's not that great. But people tend to forget that marriage is about duties before right. Throughout history, marriage has always been about duties. And this word, this day, is being forgotten. It's a bad word, duties. I have to say duties. Yes, duties. Duties because you have to do certain things. You've committed for the better and for the worse. These days, people only want the better. They only want the honeymoon, they want the big wedding, but most people do not understand that a marriage is long term. It's not about one day where you have the wedding. It's not about the honeymoon. It's not about the dates. It's about every single day. Every single day when you see the person, when you have an interaction with the person, and you invest long term. And then you see these couples that have invested long term. You see them when they're like 60, 70, 80. That's amazing. That's beautiful. And this is what people should be aiming for. Because people think that very short term. They think that, okay, I'm a woman or I'm a man, I'm 25, 30, let's play around a bit. Especially for women, they have much more pressure very early on. So a woman that is 40 that hasn't had kids, then she has to live another 50 years. 50 years without family. That's difficult. That's hard. Can you imagine yourself without family, without a partner, in a big house, with all the Chanel bag that you want, with all the Louis Vuitton bags, with the big car, the supercar, but all by yourself, with no one to share it with? How does it make you feel? It's sad. And I want people to understand that marriage is a long-term investment in something that is beautiful in the long run. It's amazing when a family gathers and all the members come together. You have the grandparents, you have the parents, you have the kids, sometimes you even have the grandkids. That's beautiful. And that's what it is about. It's not about short term. Another point I wanted to highlight. The second woman that was talking and saying that if there's an affair, it's not so bad if there's no love involved. That's a very female approach to the cheating question. When you start reading the literature about human relationship, about intersexual relationship as well, women and men cheat for different reasons. But the most important part is that the cheating is received differently by men and women. On the woman's side, the woman will mostly think about whether the man that has cheated is in love with a new partner. On the man's side, the man will be mostly concerned about the cheating action itself. This is why sometimes they will ask questions about the cheating itself. So men and women are different. And you can understand it from an evolutionary psychology perspective as well. Because men are concerned about the action of cheating, because potentially the kids that he has with his wife might not be his kids. When the woman is more concerned about the fact that a man can love a different woman, fall in love with a different woman, and hence leaving her in a bad financial situations with kids that she will have to raise on her own. Men and women have different concerns when it comes to cheating. Let's watch the last extract.
The cheater in the relationship has to take that secret to the grave. Because you live and deal with the mess and the chaos.
Don't put that monkey on my back.
Don't put it on my back. And I've always felt that way. And don't publicly humiliate me.
This woman's advice is to lie. On one side, a lot of women state that they want honesty. On the other side, this woman is advising other women that the best way to cope with cheating is to lie. She doesn't want the woman to tell her husband that she has cheated, and at the same time, she doesn't want her husband to tell her if he cheated. That's an amazing world that we live in, with people are being just dishonest and lying all the time. But that's not how couples should be. Couples should be based on honesty, Otherwise, it just doesn't work. And you can see it in the trend of the divorce. The divorce rate, the single parent household increase, and all of these different factors put together shows that this strategy just doesn't work. Lying all the time just doesn't work. So as a strong man, if you want to become a strong man, you have to be honest. Lying, living a life of lies, is an easy short-term coping mechanism, but in the long run it's dreadful because it's very complicated to remember all the lies that you have said. Better to be honest, in my opinion. Another important point is that a lot of women will tolerate cheating if it comes from a very high value man. But, and there's a but, cheating has to be done in a specific way. The man cannot publicly humiliate her. And this is what happens in most high value couple when a woman is married to a high value man. Most of the high value men will be cheating. That's the reality. But what is not permitted is to publicly humiliate his wife, publicly humiliate his long-term partner. That's not permitted. Having a baby with a different woman, paying expensive things to different women, investing time and money in a different woman, these things are not permitted, especially for high-value men. I'm going to highlight one more time. I do not agree with cheating. As a man, if you're a strong man, you should be honest. You should have honesty in your speech when you're talking to your partner or your wife. And this is why I'm always saying that high-value men should have specific qualities. If you like this reaction video, I suggest you to watch the different video about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle being all over the place.